going to actually get into XLM. So somebody said to me, I don't know if it was yesterday's show or actually it wasn't yesterday's show. I think it was Tuesday's show because that's, yeah. By the way, if you don't know, Utility Talk Now is on twice a week now, Mondays and also Wednesdays due to popular demand. How cool is that? So I believe it was Tuesday's show. Somebody mentioned, why Stellar, right? Maybe not have said like specifically why Stellar, but words to that effect. So at the end of the day, if you're new to this, why Stellar? Why is Stellar my number 3 consistently? Quant, XRP, or like basically almost tied for my first place. But right after that is always Stellar. So how about this? Why Stellar? It's a great question. Let's jump right into that. Smash that like. Here we go.
So why Stellar? Well, Stellar is a distributed blockchain network that allows one to digitize assets and transfer value quickly, efficiently, and securely. It is in particularly optimized for payments. Its speed, security, reliability, and ability to maintain scale are really its core strengths. Transactions on Stellar confirm in around 5 seconds, meaning it's fast enough for in-person transactions. Transactions are low cost, and oftentimes 1 cent can cover thousands of transactions. And Stellar can scale. Right now, under current settings, Stellar can achieve up to about 1,500 transactions a second. But of course, there's research and innovations in progress today to help that to get to the tens of thousands. So it can eventually become the global network for movement of assets.
There you go.
The ease.
And that's one of the main things to understand, right? That was real quick. I think there's a little bit more in regards to this, where they have approved users. This is a really good outline. Basically, if you're wondering where this is at, you just go to the Stellar Foundation on YouTube. But I was just like, I'm just gonna get that quick part because that literally answers it all about what minute, 2 minutes, not even that. There's this whole thing about asset issuance. How about this real quick? Institutions issuing on Stellar. We talk about this whole thing about, we need to get regulatory clarity. And then from there, we're going to have like massive ways of, the big institutional money coming in. So let's talk about that for just a brief moment, not necessarily the massive waves of them coming in, but where it says right here, institutions issuing on Stellar. Here we go.
There are many well-known institutions already issuing on Stellar, and here are just a few examples. I'll quickly run through them. GMO Trust, which is a New York-based limited purpose trust company, which is a subsidiary of a much larger company in Japan, has launched Japanese yen and a US dollar stablecoin on Stellar. Franklin Templeton has issued a money market fund on chain. And this fund is powered by Stellar and can trade 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Essentially, you don't need to wait 24 hours to have a human moving around paper and working on that settlement. And ultimately, it was aimed to create a more secure system and decrease fees that are typically associated with purchasing those types of funds. ABN AMRO, which is one of the more recent ones, has recently tokenized corporate debt on Stellar to enable access to a much broader audience than the typical large institutions that they were able to serve. Tascom Bank, one of our partners in Ukraine, has piloted issuing a digital hryvnia, or e-hryvnia, which is Ukraine's local currency. And they've done this to work on payroll and potential programmable payments. And this was all under the supervision of the National Bank of Ukraine. And then finally, USDC, which is much larger than 6 billion, but this is the article that was released when it was issued on Stellar. But USDC from Circle is on Stellar, and that is one of the largest and most trusted US dollar stablecoins.
All right, so it's good to hear that. He obviously has some steps in regards to issuing on an asset. I'm gonna jump to this next part real quick. you could take more of your own deeper dive into the whole thing about accessing the sandbox. No, they're not referring to, the actual sandbox as in crypto project from the metaverse or whatever. Although I'm invested into sand, right? So not that specific one, but I want to get into, I think it is the transaction confirmation. Let's just talk about this just for a brief moment. This is good stuff. I saw this. I was like, you know what? This is good. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Here we go.
And one quick tip is that whenever you run a transaction like this in the sandbox, you might see this confirmation box with a link. If you click on this link, it will take you to the web explorer where you can see information live from the network. So here we see information from the testnet, and here we see the transaction that just went through. We see that its status is successful, it was executed, at which block it was included, and down below we see the operations. So the account number 7 transferred 10,000 Moon units to the distribution account, which was account number 8. Awesome. So simple as that. If I look into my wallet right now, my account number 8 will have the 10,000 units of Moon. So now I can start using this and distributing to other accounts. And if I want to do the opposite, if I want to burn units and remove from circulation, it is the same concept, but in reverse. So instead of sending units from my issuing account to my distribution or any other accounts, I'll be sending units from other accounts back into my issuing account. So when the issuing account receives these units, they are burned and removed from circulation. So that's a pretty simple design that allows you to do it with just one simple operation. So, all right, we have minted, we talked about burn, we generated our assets. So let's start talking about payments, how we transfer our token around in a network. And we can do this through the tab transfer. And once you have it in your wallet, you can also use the wallet directly. If you click here, you'll be able to perform payments straight from the wallet. If you want to send to accounts that are using other wallets and experiment with the ecosystem, you're free to do it. If you want to try around other combinations of accounts, feel free to do it. That's the purpose of the sandbox, to show how easy and how customizable this process is. So,
all right, yeah, that's the whole purpose. It is pretty customizable and easy. Glad to point that out. I think that's just about it in regards to all that. But I mean, the main key takeaway was, understanding why Stellar, so that main snippet that you saw earlier, pretty cool stuff. And glad to give you guys, it's not necessarily Stellar news, but Stellar education, because that's a question that comes up quite a bit. Why specifically Stellar? Like some people are like, I believe in Ripple, I understand it, but why Stellar? Boom. There you go.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.